guys. I hope you're enjoying time at home with your family and not getting too crazy about getting out and about. I'm here today to read another folktale to you, and I'm sure you've probably heard that we're not going to be able to get back together at school before the year's out. But Mrs. Pitzer and I are working on a plan to come and see you and drop off your work and maybe bring you a little something to keep us in your memories. And I'm sure we're going to see you next year. I'm sure you're going to come and visit us and give us hugs. And I'm sure you're going to see us if you need help with your reading or your writing. So for now, I'm going to read to you the folktale, Martina, the Beautiful Cockroach. And I just love this book. I haven't got to read this book until this year. And I love it because it's, I think, something funny that girls, can relate to. So if you notice, as I'm looking at the book, I think it's won an award. And this award is an award for an author showing a culture to people so that they can learn about that culture. So also I look on the back and I see that there is a summary. Remember, good readers read the summary so that their thinking is on the right track before they get started. It says, Papa sent El Perico, the parrot, to spread the word. Soon all of Havana was abuzz with the news. Martina, the beautiful cockroach, was ready to choose a husband. So let's find out what happens when the beautiful cockroach wants to choose a husband. And just like I said, this is a Cuban folktale. Martina, the Beautiful Cockroach, a Cuban folktale. Remember, folktales are stories that are told again and again and passed down amongst generations. Martina Josefina Catalina Cucaracha was a beautiful cockroach. She lived in a cozy street lamp in old Havana with her big, lovable family. I just love the illustration of her here. Now that Martina was 21 days old, she was ready to give her leg in marriage. The Cucaracha household was crawling with excitement. Every senora in the family had something to offer. Tia Cuca gave her una peneda, a seashell comb. Mama gave her una matilla, a lace shawl. But Abuela, her Cuban grandmother, gave her una consejo incredible, some shocking advice. Now remember, we got these fancy foreign words, but the author gives us a clue what they mean when he puts those commas in there. So commas say pause, and then if you read what comes right after it, we know what those foreign words mean. Do you want me to do what? Martina was aghast. You are a beautiful cockroach, said Abuela. Finding husbands to choose from will be easy. Picking the right one could be tricky. But, stammered Martina, how will spilling coffee on a suitor's shoes help me find a good husband? Her grandmother smiled. It will make him angry. Then you'll know how he will speak to you when he loses his temper. Trust me, Martina, the coffee test never fails. Martina wasn't so sure. So yeah, here a suitor says, how will spilling coffee on a suitor's shoes help me find a good husband? A suitor is like a boyfriend. Meanwhile, Papa sent El Perico, the parrot, to spread the word. Soon all Havana, from the busy sidewalks to El Prado to El Moro Castle, was abuzz with the news. Martina, the beautiful cockroach, was ready to choose a husband. Look at the animals here. They're like, oh my gosh, it's time. Will she find a husband? As was the custom, Martina would greet her suitors from the balcony, under her family's many watchful eyes. Daintily she sat down and crossed her legs, and crossed her legs, and crossed her legs. She didn't have long to wait. So yes, so here's a cockroach that has many legs. So I think that's why we say, and crossed her legs, and crossed her legs, and crossed her legs. Don Gallo the rooster strutted up first. Martina tried not to stare at his splendid shoes. Keeping one eye on his reflection, Don Gallo greeted her with a sweeping bow. Caramba! You really are a beautiful cockroach. I will look even more fabulous with you on my wing. With that, he leaned forward and crooned, Martina, Josefina, Catalina, Cucaracha, beautiful muchacha. Won't you be my wife? Martina hesitated only for an instant. Coffee, senor? Boy, do you think she's going to spill the coffee on his shoes? Right on cue, Abuela appeared. With a quick glance at her grandmother, Martina nervously splattered coffee on the rooster's spotless shoes. Oh my, she said with mock dismay. I'm all feelers today. Ki. The rooster was furious. Clumsy cockroach. I will teach you better manners when you are my wife. Martina was stunned. The coffee test had worked. A most humble offer, senor, she said coolly, but I cannot accept. You are too cocky for me. Good for her. Don Cerdo, the pig, hoofed up next. His smell curled the little hairs on Martina's legs. What an unimaginable scent, Martina wheezed. Is it some new pig cologne? Oh no, senorita, it is the sweet aroma of my pigsty. Rotten eggs, turnip peels, stinky cheese. Don Cerdo licked his chops and sang, Martina, Josefina, Catalina, Cucaracha, beautiful muchacha. Won't you be my wife? Martina had already left in search of the coffee. She wasted no time with the pig. Gronk, gronk, squealed Don Cerdo as he dabbed at the coffee on his shoes. What a tragedy for my poor loafers. He really is quite a ham, thought Martina. Calm yourself, senor. I'll clean them for you. I'll say you will, he snorted. When you are my wife, there'll be no end to cleaning up after me. Martina rolled her eyes in disbelief. A most charming offer, senor, she said dryly, but I must decline. You are much too boorish for me. The coffee test had saved her from yet another unsuitable suitor. No, I don't think I would want to marry the pig either. The pig was scarcely out of sight when Don Laharto, the lizard, crept over the railing. His oily fingers brushed the little cockroach's lovely matilla. You shouldn't sneak up on a lady like that. I don't sneak, I creep, he said, circling Martina. For some reason, this fellow really bugged her. I've had enough of creeps for one day, said Martina. Adios. But I need you. Wait. The lizard fell on one scaly knee and warbled. Martina, Josefina, Catalina, Cucaracha, beautiful muchacha. Won't you be my wife? Martina sighed. Let me see if there's any coffee left. This time she wasn't taking any chances. Martina returned with 2 cups for the lizard. Psst, psst, he spat. Don Laharto was livid. He changed colors 3 times before he finally found his true one. And to think, he hissed, I was going to eat or marry you. Martina stared at the lizard. You could have heard a breadcrumb drop. Food for thought, senor, Martina said icily, but I must refuse. You are much too cold-blooded for me. Yeah. I mean, he was going to eat her. He wasn't going to marry her. He was going to eat her. When grandmother returned to collect the day's coffee cups, Martina was still fuming. I'm going inside, Abuela. So soon? See, I'm afraid of whom I might meet next. Abuela drew Martina to the railing and pointed to the garden below. What about him? Martina looked down at the tiny brown mouse, and her cockroach heart began to beat faster. Tiki-tin, tiki-tin. Oh, Abuelo, he's adorable. Where has he been? Right here, all along. What do I do? Go talk to him and just be yourself. I think she likes him. I think there was a clue because her heart was going tiki-tin, tiki-tin. Martina handed Abuelo her piano and her matila, then scurried down to the garden. The mouse was waiting. Tiki-tin, tiki-tin. Hola, hello. His voice was warm honey. My name is Perez. Hola, she whispered shyly. I'm Martina. The beautiful cockroach, he finished for her. You think I'm beautiful? The little mouse turned pink under his fur. Well, my eyes are rather weak, but I have excellent ears. I know you are strong and good. Martina, Josefina, Catalina, Cucaracha. Then he squinted sweetly. Who cares if you are beautiful? Tiki-tin, tiki-tin. Martina, don't forget the coffee. It was Abuela. What do you think's going to happen? Do you think that he's going to get mad about the coffee? I think there were some clues that he's probably not. No, thought Martina. No coffee for Perez. Martina, Josefina, Catalina, Cucaracha. Si, Abuela. Martina knew better than to argue with her Cuban grandmother. With a heavy heart, she reached for the cup. But Perez got there first. Quick as a mouse, he splashed Café Cubano onto Martina's shoes. Now the coffee was on the other foot. Martina was too delighted to be angry. At last she'd found her perfect match. But she had to ask, how did you know about the coffee test? Perez grinned. Well, mi amor, my love, I have a Cuban grandmother. So I think that's kind of funny. They both had Cuban grandmothers that taught them the same lesson. I thought it was funny how the little mouse quickly got the coffee and then he spilled it on Martina's shoes to see how she was going to react. I think this book had some good lessons. One was always listen to your elders because they know best. They've experienced more. The other is people aren't always what they seem. I think Martina was finding out by spilling the coffee that people weren't always how they looked on the outside. They were different on the inside. And I think that this is a made-up story. And I think that Martina learned the lessons and found a good match. Stay safe and stay healthy, and we'll talk to you soon.